send people to Israel to study their water purification.
Oh, good grief.
The water management system, right? Israel is within the desert. If we take 1/10 of those methods that they're using and implement in Jamaica, Jamaica will be the most water-rich country in the world. Israel is a bloody desert, and they have more water than anyone else within their desert.
And yet,
it's not like them so plastic river, you know, in the black desert. dry desert.
Alright, so topic for tonight is Vision 2030. I assume here.
and we're talking about Vision 2030 in 2021. So let's see if that's actually a thing that can happen.
Did anybody actually do research?
I'm leaving that to Elle because that's her.
I'll try to read it right now.
That's funny because when I went on the website, there were like 4 videos on there trying to summarize it. And each of them, you know, like UE lectures where all of the slides come like them as the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do lectures do that? Them slides are so boring. Put a little life tonight.
I mean,
it's a lecturer, not a teacher. They're different.
so it was started in 2010?
It was presented in 2010?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are the goals for 2030 for Vision 2030 so that we can actually look if it's still feasible? We still have 9 years, you know, but I mean.
Alright, so the goal 1. Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential.
Empowered to achieve.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know, what if you have a potential of being a thief or a robber?
And 2, the Jamaican society is secure, cohesive, and just. Goal 3, Jamaica's economy is prosperous.
The final one.
And goal 4, Jamaica has a healthy natural environment.
Goal 3 is like the only feasible one so far. Everything else is like
Let's set up this of everything. I mean, it wasn't there no Dirty Up Jamaica campaign going on.
No Dirty Up Jamaica. Outside and look outside and people will not have been good part.
The plastic ban, that counts as helping clean the environment.
Everywhere in the world has put a plastic ban.
Yeah, but the plastic. But the thing about the plastic ban is that people have found workarounds because the plastic ban was based on particular sizes. So people have bought sizes that are either smaller or larger than the ban sizes. So, I mean, you still see those dark plastic bags still, even now.
Like, it's upsetting because I have a friend that he's able to make plastic, well, not plastic, but containers out of cassava. I have a lot of friends. So I have a friend who created a machine that can make containers, that can replace a lot of the plastic containers with cassava.
Oh, I thought you meant the cassava used to make the plastic bag.
No, not the plastic bag. But he uses cassava to make things like food box containers. They can make plastic bottles. Well, not exactly plastic bottles. They're kind of like plastic, but they're not plastic. You can harden and make plastic straws, knives. Like basically any type of hard plastic, you can use the cassava to make it. The cassava and pear seed.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Right? He suggested this idea to the government. You know what I'm telling? It's feasible.
I think that sentence.
Do you know where he is right now?
Where?
Germany.
Doing the same thing, isn't it?
In Germany and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Backed by government funding.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I think the American government was saying, "Oh, it's not feasible for us to get money immediately out of it. Forget the environment. We need money.
Hold on, was the project started before the whole plastic ban?
There was benefit for it, right?
Yeah, but not short term.
It was an initial upfront cost
that they didn't want to cover.
Because what he was doing was basically a small team. To get economies of scale, we have to mass produce the machine, get larger machines to produce everything, and then get supply from farmers to get the cassava and the pear seed to produce everything. No, that would have cost the initial cost. They did not want to put up the initial cost. Like,
so was the project started before the plastic ban?
Was it? When did the plastic ban came in?
It would have been the end of 2019, thereabout. Mm-hmm.
It was like a year before.
Okay.
Like exactly a year before.
Okay.
But they added these ideas in a pipeline because they would just drop the plastic ban like that. It would take like a year or two of deliberation and then put out to the public and everything. It means that they had it in the pipeline.
I wonder what prompted them to have that ban.
Everybody else in the world was doing it.
It's just kind of the first, a long time people have plastic bans, so it's kind of like was kind of impromptu, just out of the blue.
Everywhere in the world, everybody in the world agreed to cut down on plastic. I think there was an agreement around the world. But if you check out websites for governments across the world, everybody implemented a plastic ban like a year before or within the time Jamaica implemented theirs. There's a global effort. It's not just Jamaica that put one day and say, why ban plastic? It's bad for you. I have no idea. Like, they started it, but they're not influencing it fully. Enforcing. Like, the beautification of Jamaica, like, that's going on. Fine. But there's so much things that they can do to help benefit it. Like, there have been persons that suggested that Jamaica send people to Israel to study their water purification.
Oh, good grief.
The water management system, right? Israel is actually within the desert. If we take 1/10 of those methods that they're using and implement in Jamaica will be the most water-rich country in the world. But Israel is a bloody desert, and they have more water than anyone else within their desert.
And yet,
it's not like them so flat finger river, you know, they're in the black desert. dry desert. And the water. They are water rich. That will show you how good they are managing their water.
We are the land of wood and water, but not a lot of water.
We can't manage water. That's the shit. We can't manage our water. If we think like Jamaica we're small, we're big enough, where we can have an economic impact in the world, but we're small enough where we can make changes and keep pushing. Send to Israel to study them water management. Send persons to the Netherlands to see how them handle them agriculture. Send people to China to see how them teach technology. Like, we can teach technology. We're good at teach. We can teach them for some good for Jamaica.
Some good knockoffs.
Technology.
Oh no, the Chinese are very good at stealing technology.
Yeah, they are.
They're very good.
Send out people, get that knowledge, bring them back to Jamaica, make them influence the world, make them assimilate the knowledge into Jamaica, right? Once we do that, once we have secured our food and water, then we can start worrying about how we can make Jamaica prosperous.
You know what I found funny though? I don't want to cut it, but something that I realized, you know what I found funny though, is that in Jamaica we have such a great IT infrastructure, but yet still, even the bigger companies, their IT services are actually outsourced. And we're talking like people in the Arab nations and people in Latin America. Those are where we're getting our IT, and China and Japan. Those are the persons who are dealing with our IT issues and problems. I mean, if you've ever called Flow and you get to like a supervisor, it's always this. I can't forget. This one time I got this on a phone call with a guy called Mohammed. I'm like, the hell? Arabic, so on Middle Eastern and everything. So I'm like, okay, there's not a Jamaican IT person I can speak to?
No.
My God, man.
is the thing. When it comes to our technology, the part of the technology we have is IT, and not even IT management, like the person who go about and fix the computer, or set up the firewall. That's so far in IT we go. We don't encourage entrepreneurship or technology development in Jamaica.
That's bullshit.
I've seen so much talent in Jamaica go overseas because there's no opportunity in Jamaica.
And they wonder why we leave.
Exactly. But
we're still a third world country.
Like
in mind and in action.
One of the goals in 2030, it should set up as it should be.
I'm surprised Vision 2030 doesn't say that.
For technological development and entrepreneurship within Jamaica.
No, not
that should be one of the starting points.
Not even that. I'm surprised that there's literally nothing to mention that there should be a shift in the way how our population advances in the case of not just technology, but in the case of proper infrastructure, in the case of changing our status from what is noticed as a developing country. That's always annoyed me growing up, that we're a developing country. It's like we're doing something but we're not getting anywhere. You understand? It's very annoying. We're constantly developing and we're not reaching the final stage that we should as being. We can't be seen as developed. I mean, it hurts when I see like a place like Barbados, for example, where they set up like small electrical outlet hubs where you can charge your electric vehicle. Fully electrical vehicles that they've been pushing for the past, 3-4 years now? I mean, come on, man.
Do you guys think that if we had a prime minister who was a foreigner and had experience with running a country, or if not that kind of experience, then some kind of knowledge in how to get a country from square one to 100. Do you think Jamaica would move out of that developing stage to the developed stage?
I don't think that a different nationality would actually change much.
Not the nationality, the expertise that the person would come with. Like if they were coming from a first world country.
Yeah, but that's literally one person. You need a lot of policymakers. Because here's one reason why you get to realize that corruption, for example, is something that's hard to curtail in our country. Because it's not just the politicians and the government officials who are corrupt. It's a mentality that even the populace itself takes on. And here's a simple form of corruption that people don't even look at. You are at a intersection, for example, and you run a red light. The officer stops you, he's about to ticket you because that's what the law stipulates. And you say, do officer, me I run late and wait, blah, blah, blah. Do not doing that. And the man say, all right, me look at go on. That in itself is a form of corruption. And I bet say if the same officer stop you again and you do something really bad and you know say guilty, you start there and say, man, you make me go on next time. You can't let me go, man. You know, so bad at me. You understand?
Yeah, like that.
Right. So,
like that.
So it's a creeping problem on a micro level that we have to fix. And I don't think one person with expertise. Because again, it's the same adage, You can have the wisest man in the world, but if he brings the camel to the water, camel don't want to drink, camel just thirsty, he's dead. So there has to be a shift in our mindset. I think the reason why we still are developing is because of our mindset. I mean, you can't. Yeah. It is. I can't forget this. A couple years ago, a Aboriginal of mine when me and him we finished and graduated, as soon as he went back home, people are like, so we don't get a youth. I'm like, what? I asked the man, where you get a youth? I'm like, so why is there this need for the man to actually father a child now? The man just finished a university degree. The man claim must have expenses.
Because it's old. Like the man said, he's old. He must have a youth by now.
No. My reply to him was, guess what? If they're not put no money for your help raise a pitney, you don't even need to answer them at all. Because it blows my mind the fact that the man gets his degree, they don't celebrate that. But if he gets a child, they celebrate. I get that the child is a celebrative thing. Don't get it wrong. But in this economy, what's for us who are born in the 90s, it's not a lovely thing. And we have to prioritize and yeah.
But we don't see education or self-development as something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
That is it. And it shouldn't be that way.
So many people as a minority and you can't count yourself because as I said, you and Michael live in a certain bubble. No man, start Michael too. Just put it out here, you know.
Okay, continue.
Michael, yeah, get a youth. I don't know. You seem to exactly. So I think he lives in the bubble too. I think I'm the only ghetto person here.
No, but the better question to ask: if you live in the ghetto or you grew up in the ghetto, because they have people who grew up in the ghetto and people who just live there. So it's two different mentalities. Because my area could be considered a ghetto, but I didn't grow up in the ghetto. If you get what I'm saying.
Oh, I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
What? I'm not a ghetto youth.
And he owns it proudly too.
Ghetto youth. Oh yeah, man.
So seriously, my so I did mean that to see you and Danny grew up in a certain bubble that you may not see the wider society, but there's a lot of misconception in the world in Jamaica that you really need to talk about. Like a guy, like two guys, one guy that had a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
The job didn't pay him, it paid $10 a week, a decent salary.
Joke one of that, they would have said.
Are you kidding me?
Them say, no man, they would say a joke one of that, man.
So the first guy, he didn't want it, right? And his friend said, since you don't want it, you can get it. So he said, yeah, so he helped him out and he gave him the job he was supposed to get, right? Mm-hmm. Friday he didn't get paid, he asked for a drink. Friend buy him a drink. Next Friday again, buy him a drink.
One time you said no.
A month and add, he might buy him a drink and come again and man say, yo, I buy a drink every Friday.
Can't buy me a drink.
Can't buy no more drink.
Yeah.
And from then, the friend start bad minding.
And so you go on.
Give the job and can't buy me a drink.
Yeah.
And the friend say, if you didn't want a drink, why never take the job then?
Man say you're going like you're fast, you know. You're going like you're better than people, you know.
He did it to the value. He did not see the value in getting that job and elevating himself. But he wants to bring him a drink and he get the job to him.
You don't want to do the work, you know. You just want to get the rewards, yeah.
Exactly. And it's so sad that they fall out because the friend that gave up the job, he almost kill a friend that got the job.
Seriously?
Yeah, bad mind it because what happened is that the friend who had the job, he got promoted.
Mm-hmm.
So he paid him from $10 a week
and
$100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I kind of blame him too because he shouldn't take people business, but he make him know, right? So the friend want money from him and the man said, no, I have to take care of my family and pay off my mother bill them. He pull out a knife to stab him and then stab him.
Why?
It's a good thing the friend with the job is a bigger guy, he more stronger than him. I did him that day because I'm telling friend, no, I'm not getting the money. So him know how work.
Hold on. Look, but that's just like when parents say, I'm me sending to school saying if take care of me. No, I me do the work. I did let's be real for a minute. Me not take the fact that you send money and you make sure me go to school, but I had to do the work. You know, just send me and boom, degree. And that's how this thing working. So you can't just say you're
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that self-entitlement it's wrong.
Can I just interject for a second here?
No problem.
Go back to the whole topic of corrupt politicians or prime ministers or whatever. Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever heard of the poorest president in the world?
Who is that?
In 2012, I'm not sure if he's still the president, but his name is Jose Mujica.
Why is that an African country?
He's the president of Uruguay.
Wow.
And according to this article, it says President Mujica has shunned the luxurious house that the Uruguayan state provides for its leaders and opted to stay at his wife's farmhouse off a dirt road outside the capital of Montevideo.
That still sounds a bit expensive, but okay.
the austere lifestyle and the fact that Mojica donates about 90% of his monthly salary, equivalent to $12,000 or £7,500 to charity, has led him to be labeled the poorest president in the world. So, I don't know how much 10%, how far 10% of that kind of salary can stretch to, but, and him drive on buggy at that. At 1987 VW Beetle. And remember them car there?
That's like from...
It is comfortable. Why not knock the man for?
Nobody not knock him.
Me actually say that and everybody corrupt. There are some that actually are compassionate about what they do.
Yeah, man.
There are compassionate. We're not saying that there are a lot of good persons in politics, but all politicians are bad. It's just that in some cases they are more corrupt than others. Like New Zealand, I know for a fact that they might have a few corrupt politicians in New Zealand, but I would put I would say, we start up and say, I think most New Zealand politicians are not corrupt. I respect a lot of them. They might have some bad personality, but everybody knows, so that's not important. I would not say they're corrupt.
No.
Here's a sad truth in my view. If you're corrupt and you're going to make the country rich, if you want to keep somebody prosper to your make, sure, why not? Just don't be corrupt when the country is dirt poor and you wrap the crumbs or the cookie jar.
Wait a second, choose the lesser evil.
Hitler probably was at the max of his potential.
Yes.
You have Mussolini.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Napoleon, and going on and on.
I know you're gonna go on and on.